Happy Saturday. Come on, my mouth. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. So I figured I would just jump on here real quick because I wanted to do a quick video about something that I've talked to, or some things that I've been talking about for some time now. I don't think a lot of people know this, but I was diagnosed with lupus, discoid lupus, back in January 2020. So I just want to share a little bit of insight. So I'll wait for a couple seconds for people to join. If no one joins, that's fine. I'm just going to do my makeup on live while I talk about this diagnosis and some of the symptoms that I experienced personally. Listen, I'm not no professional makeup artist, so this ain't what I do for a living, first and foremost. Let's be clear. But I just figured that we could spend a little bit of Saturday together. So, like I shared, I ended up going to the doctor back in January of 2020 because, well, I had been going to the doctor consistently because I was dealing with a lot of fatigue. I was super tired, extremely exhausted, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. And then I started to have like a lot of joint pains, like in my hands. Like I thought maybe I was getting carpal tunnel because I'm always on the computer. I was feeling like pain all in my back, my legs. It was just like painful. So I had started to go to the doctor, and the first doctor I went to, they were just like, "Oh, it's probably depression." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like, all right, maybe I'm depressed. It's been a lot going on. Maybe it's depression." Well, after I started taking medicine for depression, then I started to still feel the fatigue, the extreme fatigue, the tiredness. So that led me to switch from my PCP and go to another primary care physician. Where there he started to run some tests, and then I got a positive lupus test. So for those that don't know what lupus is, it's a chronic autoimmune disease. And the lupus that I have is called discoid lupus, which is a chronic autoimmune disease that affects the skin. So for me personally, when I started to get all of these faces, like my face started breaking out and then it started darkening up. I was getting these lesions on my skin. I'm like, what is going on? And they weren't healing. I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on with my skin. That's what led me to be like, okay, like I had to figure out what was going on. So I wanted to show y'all a little bit of what I mean when I say some of the symptoms that I started experiencing. And this is like super transparent for me because I don't be doing this. But like, for instance, my hair, I started experiencing like hair loss, and it's actually grown back. So that's the good thing. It's not permanent. I started experiencing hair loss, which was a big thing with discoid. I also started to see these little dark marks on my face here. I found out that later part of it was pigmentation, but also it was due to my lupus. And some of the lesions I started feeling like can't show y'all. But anyway, it was on my body and so forth. So some of the symptoms or some of the things that you see in discoid lupus is corn-shaped corn-shaped lesions. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's something that's definitely a giveaway. And then darker skin pigmentation. So like if your skin, like if you've ever dealt with like adult acne like me, usually it clears up, but this wasn't clearing up. Patches of hair loss. This was losing hair. My nails started to become brittle. Those are some of the symptoms that I was personally dealing with. So what I learned, because when my doctor gave me that diagnosis, I was like Googling everything, because all I heard him say was lupus. And I'm like, we can't have no, what is this? I'm finna start doing my makeup, so I'm not just talking. But anyway, I'm like, I saw first, of course, it's the most common kind, which is systematic lupus. So I'm like, this is not good. I've had some friends who dealt with systematic lupus. They had been in and out of the hospital. So I was a little bit overwhelmed, kind of using Google as my doctor, and that wasn't a good thing either. So my doctor ended up sending me to a rheumatologist who was able to help and support me through that journey of really understanding why I got a positive lupus test, because it was on borderline. Well, he, immediately was able to look at my skin, look at the different aspects of what was going on with my body. And he was able to say, okay, this is discoid lupus. Now you need to go to a dermatologist. So I'm like, okay, I got to go to a dermatologist. Because again, like I told y'all, discoid lupus is of the skin. So went to the doctor, and he put me on some medicine. It was an anti-malarial medicine. It's the medicine everybody was talking about was for They were using it for coronavirus for a second. But hydrochlora something. I can't tell you the name of it because, you know, I'm not a doctor. But it was a medicine that he wanted to put me on. Well, I wanted to try to do everything the natural way. But then joint pains started getting bad. And I'm like, look, my body hurting, sir. And I need something. And then, mind you, I got this diagnosis in January of 2020, which meant that this meant that it was right at the uprising of, what was it? It was when the coronavirus had came out in 2020. So yeah, that's what ended up happening with me as far as with the treatment. I said, okay, look, I'm gonna take this risk. I'm gonna take this medicine y'all gave me because I don't want to get coronavirus. And if this is what y'all using to treat it, I'm just taking. So yeah, my body just started to really react. I couldn't get rid of the fatigue and all of that, which was overwhelming. And what I started to find out is that I'm like, well, how did I get this? Like, what is it? Well, they say it's a combination of genetic and environmental. A lot of stress can trigger it. Your environment, all of that can be like a triggering factor of you know, of discoid lupus or lupus in general. Hey y'all, thank y'all for joining. But yeah, that's ended up kind of like what happened to me in my process. So some things that I was advised to do was to avoid the sun as much as possible. Always use sunscreen. And that smoking could aggravate it. So anybody who know me know I love me some hookah. I love hookah. That's my thing. So to hear that smoking could aggravate it, I'm like, okay, don't judge me. That was a risk I was gonna take. Because I got my hookah right here next to me. I relieve stress by that. So I don't smoke my hookah, I'm gonna be more stressed. Hey y'all. So yeah. Always use sunscreen and then it also said that it doesn't ever go away, but it can go into remission, which I was happy about because I'm like, I know this is what the doctor told me, but I'm not about to, like, nobody wants to hear that they have anything. Like, to me, I'm like, I don't want that. So yeah, that's what ended up happening with my lupus. So now I'm over here. The problem I've been struggling with a lot is the fatigue and the tiredness. Cause like I'm trying to figure out where that stems from. Cause I'm tired of being tired. Like literally. So I decided to get my butt up and not make no complaints or excuses and get up and do something, which is my makeup today. So anyway, how y'all doing today? Talk to me while I do my makeup. Nobody ain't gonna say nothing. Yeah. Only other thing I wanted to share on the lupus was that the cool thing I had started to see was when I remember when the coronavirus that came out and everybody was talking about the medicine that they were giving out, which is the anti-malarial medicine. I remember I made a little post like, "Ooh, good thing I'm on this medicine for my lupus," and people started to really open up about them dealing with lupus. I found out quite a few people who were super close to me had lupus as well. And I thought that was kind of, I thought it was actually good to see that I wasn't dealing with this alone. Hey Natalie, hey, how are you doing? So yeah, I was just happy to know that I wasn't dealing with that alone at the time because it can be overwhelming when you're dealing with it over time. So a lot of times people ask, why do you wear makeup? I wear makeup. I used to didn't wear makeup all the time. Well, actually, I always love makeup, but yeah, that's one of my little insecurities, man. I don't like my face being like all discolored and stuff like that. So a part of my insecurity was my skin, and then especially now I know what's wrong with it. So I ain't insecure about it no more. But yeah, that was definitely one of my insecurities when it came to me was my skin. So yeah, that's just kind of what I deal with. So anywho, I ain't gonna bore y'all, but I'm gonna show y'all this look. I just want to share a little bit of my symptoms because I don't want to have a super long video out there. But yeah, I'm gonna show y'all how I look after I put on my makeup and stuff. So anyway, y'all have a blessed Saturday and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.